We almost got a full room, so I'm Gary. I'm the head coach, I guess, so they say. I'm going to just tell you a little bit about me, since some of you may not know who I am. I've been coaching since 1983. That's a long time. It's 35 years, as Todd reminded me today. And I've seen a lot, I've experienced a lot, I've seen a lot of ups, I've seen a lot of downs. But it's all been fun, and it continues to be fun, and it will continue in the future to be fun. I've coached it, I started as a volunteer at West Virginia University. I coached the Summer League in Bridgeport, West Virginia. I then went on to the YMCA in Kettering, Ohio, and I coached there for 20 years. Then I took some time off to think that maybe I just wanted to do something different, and it didn't take me long to realize that I didn't want to do something different. So I went back to the YMCA, but this time in Chapel Hill, North Carolina for 2 years. My family was still in Dayton, so I didn't last long in Chapel Hill. So I went back to Dayton, worked for the Dayton Raiders for 6 years, and then here, 2014, and so I'm starting year number 5. And I have to say that this is the best parent organization that I've been part of. And that's due to the fact that the volunteers here are doing it right, with the board directing them, and then people standing up and doing the work that we need to be done. You guys are awesome. And so hopefully that'll continue. You'll continue to do those things so that my life is easier. So what we're going to do today, we're just going to talk about group structures, the way seasons are put together, what it takes to be a good swimmer, and then we're going to field a bunch of questions, because hopefully you'll have a bunch of questions, because I know we're not going to give you all the knowledge that we should. So first of all, we've changed the names of the groups. And why did we do that? Because really, the descriptions of the groups are really the same. We just did it so that the groups' names kind of fit what are we trying to do in the group. So Senior 1, which is Jake coaches, is really transitioning from age group swimming into senior swimming. Pretty simple. Then I'm going to flip it. I'm going to fly through this, so pay attention. Then we have the Achievers group, which is 2 groups, and that's where we're starting to focus more on the competition, where the competition is more important. We want all kids to compete. We are a competitive swim team. We do expect kids to compete in swim meets. And then we go on to the national group, which the kids in that group are trying to achieve national status, trying to compete in national swim meets. The goals of some of the, where did I put my phone, of those groups, I had to take notes, believe it or not. Believe it or not that I took notes, how's that? Like the goals of the goal of the national group is to just swim at the national level. And when I was brought here in 2014, one of the goals was to get on the national scene more. And we've gone to national championship meets, we've gone to junior nationals, we've gone to NCSA nationals, we've gone to nationals, we've gone to world championship trials and Olympic trials. So we've been able to make that step. But I want to broaden that. I want to make sure that we compete as often as we can on the national level. So we're going to try to go to national meets in December, and then again at the end of the summer, hopefully one in the spring if we can make it work with our sectional meet, and then maybe go to what's called some of the TYR Pro Series meets, where they get to swim against the Olympians, where the Olympians are swimming like they're swimming in the Jim Devine meet, where it's no big deal. To our kids, it would be a big deal to compete against them. The Achievers Senior group, which is Todd's group, the goal is to make futures and above. So they should want to make sectionals, make futures, and then maybe even out of that group make a national meet. and USA Swimming considers futures a national meet now. But to make one that says junior nationals, nationals, or a trials meet. The Achievers is what used to be Senior 2, is that what it was called?
Achievers Juniors.
Achievers Juniors, which is the 13, 14. The goal of them is everybody should have have 4 LSC cuts, and then their goal is to make sectionals, futures, and maybe even out of that group, you would make national meets. It's not unforeseen that that happens. Some of the champions at junior nationals are 14 years old, and they swim in groups that are not in their national group because they don't want to push the kids too far. And the last group is the transition senior group, which is the group Jake coaches. It's to make LSC championships. First of all, to get them to compete in meets more often than they do, and then to make LSC champs, and then even out of that group to make sectionals. Okay? Any questions to that point? Because my part right now is just about done. Anything on the meets or the group structure or what it takes to get into it? I think it's all self-explanatory in the group descriptions, how and why we move up. The goal is that they compete, that the training is based on what the goal of the end meet is, so that we're not trying to mix and match tapers on and off of groups, so that they're all trying to accomplish the same goal. Like-minded people are more likely to do it than people that are scattered. Okay?
We're going to talk about the overall senior group expectations.
Yeah, go ahead. You got it.
I got it there, yeah.
We have some group expectations that were probably never stated before, and we've struggled a bit with them. First of all, we need the kids to get to practice on time. And we realize that when practice starts at 6:30, it's really hard to get some of your kids to practice because you work. But even if they're late, encourage your kid to have a little urgency when they get in the water, not to lollygag around, that they need to stop and talk to everybody along the way. They don't need to wait for their friends in the locker room. Because really it's a disruption to the rest of practice if they're jumping in the pool anywhere from 5, 10, 15 minutes, or even 20 minutes late, when we know they could have been in a lot quicker. And it gets to be a struggle, and we're not teaching them the right behaviors if we allow them to lollygag a little bit. We want them to have positive attitudes. And sometimes you may go, well, geez, the coaches need to have that too. There are days that we need to have that also. But we're going to try to implement a no complaining rule. It sounds silly. It's really hard. When I'm in a bad mood, I'll say, Todd, you know what happened over here? And I catch myself. But we're going to try to get the kids to change a negative comment into a positive comment. Like, I don't know, I can't think of any at the moment. Be willing to do the work that's thrown in front of them. Whether they like it or not, more times or not, they're not going to like the work, because it's hard work. Swimming is hard. But to do the work that we think is going to make them better. And the thing that sometimes is a struggle is sometimes kids they perceive themselves as, I'm a sprinter, I'm a breaststroker, I'm a butterflyer. Our goal isn't just to make you a single event swimmer. Our goal is to make your kid a well-rounded swimmer. I would bet that when I came to CSC, Zach Lorson thought of himself as a breaststroker. I could be wrong. But in the 4 years since I've been here, he's turned into a really good 400 IMer, which means all 4 of his strokes are pretty darn good. And that's the goal, that's my goal for everybody. And you may think, my kid doesn't want to swim the 400 IM. I, as a parent, don't want to watch the 400 IM. But if you watch it, it's a really exciting event to watch because they're changing positions all the time, and you keep waiting for, like, man, when Zach comes to the breaststroke and the freestyle, he's going to be great. He's going to run people down. Watch him catch them. But our goal is to make them well-rounded, be able to swim a lot. Everybody know who Dane Flora is? He was recruited to Mizzou to be a miler. How long ago did we go to NCSAs? A month ago? He decided to win the 200 freestyle because we train kids to be good at a lot of different things. That's the goal. We want them to be able to adapt to a lot of different things. And he just felt really good that day. It was fun to watch. It was more fun actually to watch Todd and Ann, their reaction, than it was to watch Dane. It's fun to watch those kind of things. We want them to learn to support their teammates better. We all struggle at times. Again, swimming is hard. They come to practice. If you're a senior kid, you come to practice. It's dark when you get here. You get out of the pool, you get dressed, you go to school. Guess where you come when you're done with school? Back to practice. Swim for 2 hours, you work your tail off, you're tired as heck, you get out and you're leaving again, and guess what it is? It's dark again. So what's it feel like you did all day? You felt like you spent all day in the pool. And if we can support each other in the pool, as parents, with your kids, to be a better teammate, it's going to make our team better. It's going to make it a lot more fun to be in the pool all day because we're supporting each other. Be willing to make changes. Everybody says, and here comes Mike, that's going to say, oh, Gary's going to get negative. All kids say they want to change. I want to fix my stroke. And you start to look at them and you say, I need you to put your hand in like this, and they'll say, uh-huh, and then they turn away. We encourage your kids to keep eye contact with us. And on top of that, we need to go back and reinforce it. There's many times when we get, I don't know, today, how many people were in the pool? 35 kids were in the pool today. We go to correct somebody, because there's 35 people in the pool, you move on to somebody else and you forget. Ask your kids to remind the coach, hey, how did that look? And you might get, oh, geez, I didn't watch, I'll have to watch you now. But sometimes we forget. We're human, we make mistakes. And we expect all swimmers to attend the swim meet that they qualify for, the championship meet that they swim in, that they've made, to the highest level. If you've made sectionals, we expect you to go. Whether it's for one event or 7 events, we expect you to go. That's probably what their goal is. And if your kid goes, man, I finally made my goal, and you go, oh yeah, we're not going to Tulsa for one event. What's all that hard work been for? Because next time he's going to have 7. But if you go, oh, we can't make that trip. It's too far. I want to go do something else. What are you telling your kid? That it's not important. Your goal isn't important to us. So we need you to support the meets that they need to go to. And the higher level you go to, the harder it is, the more money it costs, the longer you're gone, the more school they're going to miss. But if that's their goal and their grades are good, there's no reason that they can't do it. We have to give our kids the reason to succeed rather than expecting them to fail. We got to give them the opportunity to show you, the parent, me, the coach, that they can do their schoolwork and go to that swim meet that they're going to be gone a week. You'd be surprised how many teams go to the national meet in December and their kids will stay at that pool for another week and go to the junior national meet. They'll miss 10 days of school. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of schoolwork missed. But they managed to do it, and those kids are going to Stanford, they're going to Harvard, they're going to Texas, they're going to Missouri, they're going everywhere because they are successful. We're teaching them, we are part of teaching them the tools to be successful. We all take vacations sometimes that are 10 days long, and you miss work for 10 days, and what's it like when you come back? It's hell, because you got a lot of work to do. They can figure it out. They'll manage to do it. I'll get off the soapbox. Todd's going to talk about scheduling and the way the seasons are put together.
All right. So first I'm going to talk about the meet schedule. Okay, cool. So this is our meet schedule for this season. And actually after I got here, I realized I left one meet off here, and I'll talk about when I get there. But we have a variety of different type of meets that we attend throughout the season. Our first meet is going to be a meet in Springfield, Missouri. We haven't gone before. We like to try to put new meets in the schedule sometimes so we can race different sets of kids, be in different pools, different meet formats. And then we go to a senior circuit meet in Lawrence. What the senior circuit meet means is there are no age groups. Anybody can go, but there's only one qualifying time for the meet for all ages. The qualifying times aren't particularly fast. I will have those up on the website here in the next day or so. The file that was put on the Missouri Valley website will not load, so hopefully I'll get new ones soon. So those first 2 meets, those early season meets, we're really just getting experience racing, getting back into race mode, trying new things with race strategy, trying some new races. Throughout the season, we like to have meets like that where the focus isn't so much on times, even though we would love to go swim fast and we'll take fast times. The focus and the emphasis more on the process of expanding our horizons, the number of events that we swim, and learning how to swim different races, and taking some risks in how we swim these races so that we can learn the best way for them to swim them so they can be at their peak at the end of the season. We have a new thing that we're doing this year. On October 21st, we're doing a dual meet with Empire Swim Club out of Kansas City. This is something we've been in talks with them for a while. We wanted to do a meet that's a 1 day, not even, I shouldn't say 1 day, a 1 session meet, not very long, a fun environment. Empire Swim Club's a very good team. That's an up and coming team in Kansas City. We were actually, it was between us and them at last spring sectionals. So we think it'll be a really fun chance to just get some racing and some competing in without spending an entire weekend and without having to spend several $100s in hotels and travel. That'll be here in Columbia at Hickman.
One of the reasons we do it is, it's exciting. You think to maybe a high school swim meet or a college swim meet that it's just you against another team, and it creates excitement. It's short, it's not very long. We get to compete one-on-one. It'll probably be somewhat like a high school format where we swim hundreds and 50s probably, but it'll just be exciting, and we'll have pizza at the end. So, but it's try to, we want new kids to compete in swim meets, and to expect them right away to show up at a meet that lasts 3 days, a Friday night, a Saturday, and a Sunday, is a hard sell. So we got to rope them in somehow to have, and that's why this short, exciting meet, to try to rope them in and trick them a little bit. And maybe some of you are the ones we need to trick, I don't know.
The next meet will be the Jim Devine meet here. This is for all swimmers. There are qualifying times to meets, but our kids do not have to meet the qualifying times because we host it. So when you are choosing events, you don't have to worry about the qualifying times that are in there. This is the only meet that is like that.